If you're the first generation immigrant raising your children in a country like the UK, or anywhere with a culture different from where you grew up, this video is for you. I'll be honest, parenting in a different culture hasn't been easy. I've made mistakes, I've cried after arguments, and I've had many quiet moments where I thought, if I only had known this earlier, if I had understood things sooner, maybe I wouldn't have lost so much connection during those times when my daughter stopped speaking to me. Maybe I could have stayed closer. Maybe I would have understood her better. You might be feeling some of these too. Your child doesn't seem to listen anymore. They roll their eyes, talk back, or shut down completely. You try to help, but they say you are too strict or too old school. You watch them become more like their friends or less like the child you knew. If any of that feels familiar, you are not alone. In this video, I will share why this disconnection happens, why it usually shows up, what we can focus on instead of constant correction, and how we can rebuild connection even when it feels like we are living in two different worlds. Why this happens? Let me share a story a friend told me. Her teenage daughter came home from school one day. She looked tired, maybe a little stressed. The mom gently asked her to help clean dishes, something she has done many times before. But that day, her daughter snapped. "You don't get it, Mom. You didn't grow up here. You don't know what it's like." My friend wasn't expecting that. She wasn't yelling or pushing. She was just making a normal request, but still, her daughter's words stung. It wasn't really about the dishes. It's about how overwhelmed she felt, how disconnected she felt, and how misunderstood she felt trying to live between two cultures. That sentence, "You didn't grow up here," stayed with me too. Because it's true. We didn't grow up in this culture. We didn't get to express feelings so openly. We didn't get the space to say, "I need a break," or "I'm tired." But our children are growing up in a world that encourages them to speak up, even if this comes out rough sometimes. When it shows up, this gap doesn't always start with the shouting or silence. It starts with the small changes. They stop holding your hands when you walk. They answer with a few words. They start saying "it's fine" when it clearly isn't. Usually, this happens in the teen or teenager years, when they begin to build their own identity. If you are raising your child in a different country from your own, that identity can feel confusing for both of you. Then learning how to fit in at school, how to speak like their peers, how to be accepted while you are hoping they still hold on to your values and traditions at home. Sometimes they feel stuck between two cultures. And when they don't have the words, they push us away. What to focus on? When you feel our children pulling away, our instinct is often to explain, correct, or remind them of how hard we worked for them. I used to say things like, "When I was your age, I didn't even dare talk back. You should be thankful I do everything for you." But one day, after another difficult conversation, I realized they don't need my pressure, they need my presence. So now I focus less on control and more on connection. You might try saying something like, "I didn't have the chance to speak up when I was young. Maybe that's why I sometimes come across so strict. But I want to understand you." That kind of honesty is powerful. Here are two ways I've learned to reconnect. Tell your story. Instead of giving a rule, maybe you could say something like, "When I was younger, I had dreams too. But no one asked me what I wanted. I don't want to make that same mistake with you." These opens hearts, not just tears. Be curious about their world. Even if their hobbies confuse you. Music, games, plan, show interest. You could say, "Can you show me what you're watching? I'd like to see what makes you laugh." That moment can turn tension into trust. How to bridge the gap. Step 1. Acknowledge the difference. You might say, I didn't grow up in the same system as you. I'm still learning what it's like you. That builds respect both ways. Step 2. Focus on shared values. Even if you disagree on screen time or style, you probably agree on be kind, working hard, staying true to yourself, just to remind them and yourself of that common ground. Step 3. Let go of small battles. Not every disagreement needs to become a lecture. Sometimes it's okay to say nothing and just listen. Just ask yourself, is this about their future or just my pride? Step 4. Stay close. Even if they say, leave me alone, don't give up. One mom told me she started to leave a cup of tea outside her son's room, not as a message, just as a presence. Eventually, he opened the door. Parenting across cultures is not easy. There's no rule book, no perfect example. We are doing our best with love and guesswork. And yes, I wish I had known some of these earlier. But the beautiful thing is, it's not too late. Every honest effort to reconnect matters. Every moment of patience builds a bridge. You don't have to say the perfect thing. You just have to stay present. If this resonates with you, if you've had similar moments, share your story in the comments. Let's support each other, parent to parent, across languages, across cultures, across generations. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye for now.